Imagine for a second that you wake up somewhere different. A place that doesn't play by the rules you know. A place where the simple act of looking at something changes what it is. To get out of here alive, you can forget about weapons. You're going to have to understand the laws of physics itself.
So you find yourself in this grayscale world. And off in the distance, you see these blurry, out-of-focus shapes. Kind of like tumbleweeds, just drifting around. But the instant you really focus on one, it snaps into a solid, definite thing, a being. And now, it's chasing you.
Look, this isn't just some bad dream. This is what a world would be like if it were literally governed by the strange, mind-bending rules of quantum mechanics. And if you want to survive, you've got to learn those rules and fast. Because in this game, physics is both the trap and the only key out.
Okay, so first things first, those creatures. Why do they only pop into existence when you look at them? Well, that's our first major clue. It's pointing to one of the weirdest ideas in all of science, the observer effect.
See, when you're not looking, that tumbleweed isn't actually in any single place. It exists in what's called a superposition, which is just a fancy way of saying it's a fuzzy cloud of all its possible locations all at once. The moment you look, you force that cloud to choose. It collapses from a wave of possibilities into one single particle-like being.
And this whole process, it actually has a name: wave function collapse. It's a core mystery of the quantum world. Your simple act of measurement, just looking, takes all that potential and smashes it down into one concrete reality. And in this world, that reality is now running right at you.
So the sequence is pretty simple, right? It starts as a wave of probability. Your gaze acts as the measurement, and bam, it instantly collapses into a solid being. But that brings up a really important question. Why is it chasing you? Well, because in the act of observing it, you became linked. You've created the state of quantum entanglement. Your fates are now tied together on a fundamental level. It knows you, because your observation is the very reason it exists in a solid form. You're not just a witness here, you are part of the equation.
All right, so it's not just the creatures that are messing with you. The environment itself feels like it's actively hostile. You've got these houses that make you dizzy. They're glowing with this ominous red light. None of this is random. This is more physics at work. That dizziness you're feeling, that's not just in your head. That's the actual world bending around you. Just like Einstein predicted, massive objects warp the fabric of space-time. These houses are so incredibly dense that they're creating gravitational ripples, and it's throwing your balance completely out of whack. You're literally feeling reality get distorted.
And that red glow? Yeah, that is a universal keep out sign. It's called gravitational redshift. The gravity around those houses is so powerful that light itself has a hard time escaping. As light particles lose energy climbing out of that gravity well, their wavelength gets stretched out, shifting them toward the red end of the spectrum. That's the color of a place you really don't want to get close to.
And what about the total lack of color? That tells us something too. It means this universe is ancient and is basically run down. Think of it like a universe in a state of high entropy. All the complex information that makes up color has faded away over eons. All that's left are the absolute basics, just light and shadow.
Okay, so the rules are clearly stacked against us. We've got things that become real when you see them, and the world itself is warped and dangerous. It sounds pretty hopeless, but what if we could use these same bizarre rules to our advantage? It's time to start weaponizing quantum mechanics.
This really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You're being hunted by creatures locked onto you by your own gaze, and the very ground you're running on is trying to trip you up. A normal escape plan is out the window. But hey, we're not in a normal world.
The first thing you have to do is remember a crucial fact. These quantum rules don't just apply to the world around you. They apply to you, too. Deep down, you're not just a solid object. On a fundamental level, you are also a wave of probability. And waves can do some pretty amazing things that particles can't.
This gives us our first tool, quantum tunneling. See, in our world, if you run at a wall, you stop. But in the quantum world, your probability wave doesn't entirely stop at the wall. A tiny piece of it actually leaks through to the other side. And if you get really lucky, your entire being can just appear on the other side.
Now here's the catch. It's not a sure thing, not even close. Tunneling is a game of pure chance. The odds get better, though, if you do something that sounds crazy. You have to become less certain about your own position. You have to embrace the fuzziness of your own existence.
But if you pull it off, oh, it's a game changer. The moment you successfully tunnel through the wall of one of those houses, you break the line of sight. That quantum entanglement is instantly severed. And without your observation to hold them together, the beings just dissolve. They collapse right back into a harmless, fuzzy cloud of probability.
But there's an even more powerful tool at your disposal. This is built into the very code of this reality. It's your ultimate escape clause, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. All it says is this: you can know where something is, or you can know how fast it's moving, but you can never, ever know both with perfect precision at the same time.
Now, this is a trade-off you can totally exploit. If you focus on just moving at a constant speed, your actual location becomes smeared out and uncertain. You're not a solid target anymore. You're more like a translucent cloud. But if they corner you and pin down your exact position, then your speed becomes wildly uncertain.
This leads to something we could call the quantum moth effect. Think about it. The more you try to pin a moth down in one tiny spot, the more frantically its wings flutter. It's the same here. The more these beings try to pinpoint your exact location, the more your potential speed skyrockets, allowing you to just vanish and reappear somewhere else entirely. The very act of them catching you is what gives you the power to escape. So, the ultimate survival strategy in this quantum nightmare is to just lean into the uncertainty of it all. You have to refuse to be measured, refuse to be one single definite thing in one definite place. In this world, your safety lies in being a moving, smeared-out wave of probability. Once you embrace your own quantum nature, you become uncatchable. You leave them behind, forcing them to chase not a person, but an idea, a ghost of probability that they can never pin down. And all of this, it kind of brings us to one last really unsettling thought. This entire survival guide is built on the idea that observation is what makes things real. So, what does that say about our own world? What things might exist right now only as a fuzzy wave of pure possibility, just waiting for someone or something to look?